You had some value guys drawn up for us. Is there someone you could build around actually in the value department?
Well, yeah, I mean, Holiday at 7,500. Obviously, I think you're getting a player who has like, 5-figure potential depending on what goes on with the Bucks lineup tonight. But I think you could look at Pat Connaughton at 5,000. I think you can look at Grayson Allen a little cheaper at 4,000. Grayson Allen has cooled off a little bit over these last few weeks, but he's still been a high minute guy for them. I mean, you're losing like a 30% usage rate player in Giannis. You're potentially down Chris Middleton as well. And the Bucks were supposed to get Dante DiVincenzo back tonight, and of course he lands on the COVID list. So, we might have been looking at a situation where Connaughton and Allen see, somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes shaved off of their workloads, and now that's not going to happen. So I think both of those guys now become interesting values. If you want to look away from Milwaukee, I would keep an eye on Anthony Simons at 5,400. I know he was bad last night against Phoenix, but he's basically locked into 30-plus minutes, it looks like, with CJ McCollum sidelined. I don't know that I'll be locking him in, but if Damian Lillard were to be rested tonight, playing into overtime with that abdominal injury on the second night of a back-to-back, then to me, Simons at 5,400 becomes really interesting. Then the last name I'll throw out there is Garrison Matthews at 4,700 for Houston. As Garion alluded to, no Jalen Green, no Kevin Porter, no Eric Gordon, no Daniel House, no John Wall. Good chance no Christian Wood tonight. So the Rockets can kind of be in that same situation as Milwaukee, where you have 3 or 4 guys you're maybe parsing through for value.
Garion, help me out in the value department.
Yeah, I mean, if recent history is any indication, aka the last 48 hours, we'll probably have like 2 teams we're not even looking at have massive outbreaks sometime in the next 6 hours. So this conversation will look vastly different in just a little bit. But going on who's actually already had their outbreaks, I think, like Nick said, you got to look at the Bucks. Obviously, the Rockets are going to have a ton of value tonight. We've already mentioned a couple of those guys. The Lakers are also really hard pressed. And I think a lot of the Lakers' viability comes down to whether or not Anthony Davis plays. He's obviously missed the last 2 games. He's questionable for this game tonight. If the Lakers feel like they do want to take it very safe with one of their superstars, we could be entering DeAndre Jordan territory, which I know is a scary place to be, but no Dwight Howard in this contest. He's $3,100. The last time DeAndre Jordan has had to play 20 minutes in a game, he's done it 4 times in the past 5 weeks. He's averaged 22 DraftKings points. So again, this isn't one of those like, oh my God, DeAndre Jordan's going to break the slate. But if he ends up starting this game out of necessity at $3,100, there's a very good chance he's just going to return 6 or 7x value. And it's hard to ignore at that particular price point. But there's going to be a lot of value that opens up on this slate. And I think, as Nick was alluding to earlier, this might be one of those slates where you want to take 2 extremely high-priced players because you're going to be able to build around that kind of lineup.